The BeastNet Canadian Edition podcast is proudly brought to you by
Grit Farm Fitness. Here we discuss all things obstacle course racing related, as well as
endurance, conditioning, running, rucking, and much more.
Welcome to the BeastNet Canadian Edition.
Welcome to today's BeastNet International Podcast Canadian Edition A. Today on the show we have Juls Tower and a special guest star because my wife had too much sun today and needs a bit of a nap. We have Dave Claxon, who's also been on the show before and has willingly joined us to help interrogate Juls.
Wonderful.
I'm just a substitute teacher. I'm hoping Juls didn't put a tack on my chair or anything like that. She's definitely not going to answer anything I ask or do anything I say. I know that.
No.
So nobody wants to know anything more about you, David. We've had you on the show. So Juls, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I don't know what you want me to tell. I'm not that interesting.
You are too. How did you get, why OCR? How did you get into OCR? What do you do when you're at an OCR? Tell us everything.
The beginning, I don't know, it was 2013, 2014, coworker got me to go into it. So now I was in a dark place then. Most of you know my background, I've lost a husband, lost parents, lost a lot of people. So I was kind of, not loving life anymore. And then went and did this OCR just for something fun, about a year after my husband passed, and thought, what is this? Now adventurous. I was always adventurous, skydive or anything I could do like that. Loved it. So I thought, ooh, this is fun, but scary. It was Warrior Dash was my first one.
Okay.
5K. Terrified.
Did you get the helmet?
Yes.
Awesome.
It is, but yes. But yeah, no, terrified of it and loved it. Loved every moment of it. By the end, can't even tell you, it probably took me 2 hours to do it. Ridiculous. Laughed the whole time. Never had so much fun. Tough Mudder was the next one. Terrified. Thought, how am I going to do this? Because I'm not a runner. I never was a runner. I always ran a bit to keep myself fit and stuff like that, but not a runner. Did Tough Mudder and I was hooked. Done. Loved it. And you know what it was? It was the people. It wasn't the event. It was the people on the course that cheered you on, encouraged, helped, laughed, fell down with you. That's what hooked me. And I couldn't stop. After that, it was nonstop. It was like, well, what can I do next? 12 hours, 8 hours, what? 24. Okay, let's do it.
So you have done a 24-hour?
Yes. Yeah, the world's toughest Mudder. It would have been my 5th this year.
Your 5th?
So we'll have to wait till next year. Yeah.
Your 5th Worlds or your 5th?
Yes, 5th Worlds.
So you've done 4 World Summits. So, okay, yes. So you went and did this race and then you did another race, and then how far after you started did you actually do the 24-hour race? Within this?
The next week.
The next. So not a year or two later.
No. I was probably about, when I got into it, maybe about, what was my first one? Let's think here. 2014 was my first Warrior Dash, and it was 2016 was my first Worlds. So there you go, 2 years.
Okay, still 2 years is a couple weeks for a lot of us, especially with the seasons and so forth. But 2 years to go 24 hours, and then all the other ones in between.
And that, I was scared in my mind for this one. I mean, going from the 5K to 10 miles to 24 hours, I thought there's no way. I never had so much fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's moments where you're like, what the hell are we all doing out here? What is wrong with any of these people on this course? There's something wrong with every one of us. but yes, no, it was wonderful. What an experience.
Were you an orphan the first year, or did you have people pitting for you, or?
I was an orphan, but had a lot of people surrounding that I knew within the same tent area, so we had a lot of help.
Okay.
Yeah. So
still to do it on your own,
helping others that kind of took us in.
Wow.
So Juls, for that first World's Toughest Mudder, I mean, that was 2016, right? So that was down in Vegas.
Yep. And
how did it go for you? How'd you do?
Do you know what? I've got to remember that one because I was with a great friend who that we did the first one. I believe I ended up with 40 miles that one, which I thought was phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
No idea.
Do you know how many miles you had done previous to that in a single run?
5K.
Okay, so you went from 5 to maybe
not a lot.
Maybe 10K
maybe,
to 40 miles.
I don't even think I did my half marathon by that point yet.
So
yeah,
probably
maybe 15K, 20K. Actually, a Tough Mudder would have
I
been
was going to say your
regular
regular Tough Mudder probably would have been about 10 miles. Probably would have been your regular furthest.
Yeah.
Now when you did that first,
you gotta jump in head first, and actually you do have to jump off a cliff there.
Yeah. So when you did that one, and you said you were scared to death, which I mean, I can relate. I've been to it myself.
Yeah.
What got you the most? I mean, going into Vegas, and especially when they get the speech all pumped up at the beginning, and then you're off. What's in your mind is like, oh God, the first lap I'm going to see this obstacle I don't want to do, and then the second lap I'm going to actually have to do it. Which one was haunting your nightmares?
It was the cliff that year. I was and I don't mind jumping off of high things. I don't have a problem with heights, but that was terrifying once you actually saw the cliff. And the first time I did it, I couldn't wait to do it again.
How long did it take you to do it that first time?
What was that?
How long did it take you to do it? Did you just walk up and jump, or
not long, because I just can't play that game. You'll just stand there forever, right? Maybe it was probably only been a minute, but leading up to that walk where you had to go off it, it was actually the whole lap was horrible because I knew that it had opened because they open it at midnight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, how am I going to do this? And then even worse, you're jumping into dark water.
I believe I was there that year. So yeah, I remember when opening it at midnight. We all ran there to go see the first few people jumping in, and it was
an adrenaline rush. Unbelievable. Right? Yeah.
Wow. So 12-hour, 24-hour, and you say you're not much of a runner, so you got through those, and then you did a thing recently as well where there was no obstacles that you ran. What was that all about? What was that? The UltraVirus race. So did you do any of the previous ones?
I did. I did the previous two.
Okay.
So the first one I did run with someone. So we kind of stayed a bit together. So I did 40 miles there, and I was thrilled with that, and that was fine. And I did the second one, and I had a goal of 50 because my thing is I'm not fast, but I'll stay out there. I'll just keep going. Like I seem to have something that doesn't allow me to stop. And I can kind of set my mind to things too. And the other thing too, once again, we're alone, but I wasn't. I was video chatting with people all day, people in this community. We were laughing. People were sending me ridiculous pictures. It was just a hoot all day long. So I really wasn't even alone out there. And I hit the 50 miles and I was beside myself. This was the last one, prior to this unbelievable one. Holy cats, I don't know what happened there. So then just last weekend, I went out, had no idea. Mr. Dave told me at one point that I was in second, and I thought, well, that's not going to last not too long, and I just keep going, try and get my 50. I thought it was going to be 45 miles because it was really warm, and I wasn't minding the heat. Like, I was surprised. Now, I was fortunate enough that I'm along a river. There's a bit of a breeze there, and I could jump in the river too, so it wasn't so bad. And when I realized that I was actually going to be able to go out for one more lap and make a 55, which this girl never thought was even possible. You told me this even a year ago, I would have laughed at you. And then got back in and someone said, you're not only first, but you're third overall. Well, I bawled. It was sweat. Unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still in a bit of shock. Because like I say, I've never, even through high school, I was the high jumper, the triple jumper, they would ask me to go on relay and you could see the girls kind of rolling their eyes because they knew I was the slow one, right? Or the baton would be halfway over there somewhere. And, I just never did well running. But
so you finished with 55 and third overall? That's what you finished with? Well done.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Can't even tell you how. I just wouldn't stop. That was the biggest thing.
Just put one foot in front of the other. That's how.
Just keep going, right? And that was the biggest thing. I just did not, I had a quick little bite to eat that I tried to make about 10 minutes and just 12 hours just stayed out there.
So I got some terrible news for you, Joel. Like absolutely horrible news.
Yep.
You are a runner.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I'm an ultra runner.
You're an ultra runner. It has happened. You can keep trying to say that you're not, but I'm sorry, you kind of are.
Well, I guess because I think that I'm not super fast, right? But yes, I am a runner because I've proved to myself now that I can get up there with the big boys.
So all it took for you to convince yourself that you were a runner was multiple 50-mile efforts at World's Toughest Mudder and winning an UltraVirus ultra race.
Yeah, I think finally maybe this last
that's
weekend just said, maybe you're a bit of a runner. You're okay.
Throw some obstacles in there in between too.
That would be terrific.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this, Ryan, she's serious. When she says there's something in her that just won't let her stop, I'll tell you this, she had run 50 miles and I was speaking to her on the phone or through text or some form of communication during a run. And I told her, I'm like, you've got it. The other girl can't catch you at this point. And she's like, okay, great. I'm going to go for another lap. And I'm like, she's like, I'm in agony. I'm in a lot of pain. I can't take this anymore. I'm like, well, you've got it. Relax. No, I'm going to go for another lap. So there's not, there really is. When she says there's something in her that won't let her stop, she's serious. She will not stop. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'd have quit a long time ago. But.
It's not the first time I've heard that kind of a story from this community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, okay, I beat everyone by 2 laps. I'm gonna go out for another one. You've already won. Why? Yeah. Because I can. Or I think I can, so I'm gonna go out and do it and prove I can to myself. Not to everyone else. It's more to myself than anything else, right? So
what's the thought process on the last one? Just I want to hit that 55.
I never thought that was possible. Like I didn't even think I was going to get 50 again, but I knew I could get 50. Mm-hmm. Earlier in the day, like 4th lap, my knees were hurting already. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then when I seen I would have an hour and 10 minutes left. Now I pushed hard on the 10th lap, so I thought, oh, this is going to be tough. Can I do it? Can I do it? Gotta try. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, and surprisingly enough, that lap wasn't that bad. I think just my mind was that I'm going to do it. And it wasn't bad until I got home. And then even at that, I didn't realize the pain I was in. It took me about an hour till everything settled in. And then, oh my gosh, I think I was up till 1 a.m. with so much pain. But it was great pain. It was good.
It's the adrenaline and just everything. Yeah. And just like, oh my God. And then it's like, oh my God. Like, I heard Joe Perry talking about like, he came in like 3rd or 4th as well. I think he came in 4th overall.
I think he did.
Have you rubbed that into him yet?
Right. Apparently he was hopping in a pool every once in a while, and then at the very end he hopped in a pool, and he's like, that last dip was the worst thing I ever did because I didn't want to get out of there. And it's just like once you stop, you're done, especially after you've done that much. You've done World's Toughest where some people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to do about 4 or 5 laps, come in, have a nap, try to go back out there after that. Well, it's not so hard if it's only been a few laps, but once you throw some more in there and you stop, you just can't start your body back up again after that. So, and just the continual movement as well is tough, like just grinding through it, right? Like just, and you did it. So what's next?
I don't know.
Have you registered for anything else? Have you registered for like any of the toughest virtuals, or maybe even this year's World's Toughest virtual now? Or
yeah, so everything I had this year is transferred over to next year. The virtual, yes, I'm going to do the toughest, and that will be the Ontario one taking place at the Perry House. So that should be fun. I haven't.
So you're going to try and beat him there again too,
on his own turf.
We're going to sneak in there as Jules' pit crew. We're going to go help her out, and we're going to secretly tie Joe's shoes together so she can beat him again. So, we'll slip, a little bit of booze into his water. We'll get him all met. It's hers. It's in the bag.
I think you need to try
after this toughest. You didn't just give it away, did you?
No.
This is going to air after we do toughest, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, when is that? Wait. That is August 22nd. Yeah, no, this is before.
Don't worry. Joe is too busy doing other things. He'll never hear it.
Okay.
He's a busy guy. He's got stuff to do.
When I share this out, I'll just block joke. It's all good. I can do that. That's a thing we can do.
Congratulations, Joe. You had a good run.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he should be helping you, like asking you to tie her shoes together.
Yeah.
So maybe take a little from both ends. Like.
In all actuality, if you showed up in Joe's face paint, now that would be fantastic.
That could happen.
I think we could do that.
Yeah.
You would definitely look good. We could do the Vegas one with the dice for eyes. I think Joe would appreciate that.
Just a little bit more competition for him. You do that, and you're in for it that day. That's for sure. It's like he's gonna have to show you up at that point, because it's like you don't show up to my house in my face paint and then try and beat me. But even even him on his call, he was like, I didn't even know until midnight that night that I came in that place. Like he just
crazy.
He cared, but just like didn't really care. Whatever. I'm just gonna go out and do what I do and just enjoy it, right? So
yeah, amazing.
So actually, Jules, I'm gonna go back just a second, because there was one thing I did want to ask you about the UltraVirus that we skimmed over. So a lot of people had set up with their 5-mile loops in their pits, right? Every 5 miles they'd come in, get some nourishment, get some food. You did a little different, didn't you?
Yes, and that's what saved me, I think. I kind of made almost a 15-mile loop. So by the time I got back to my house, the first 3 laps, I was actually about 13 miles, so I had to go a little bit past and back. But still, it kept me out there. So I didn't have the choice. So I brought enough stuff with me, but as soon as I finished that first lap, I logged it in, continued on, just did not stop. And then I did that again, so that I'd get myself to 6 laps. By that point, then I did the 5 miles, because at that point I wanted to come back and forth, not go out so far. But at least I knew the beginning chunk I would have out of the way with doing basically 2 runs in my head. I'm out getting 3 laps done, out getting another 3 laps done.
And the thing about that, right, is that stops you from that temptation to get in the comfy house, to jump in the pool, to do all that stuff, right? That takes away that temptation, right? And so all you got to do is when you finally get back, like you said, on that 3rd lap, you get back there, you just got to convince yourself to get back out that door again, and you're another 3, right? I mean, it's genius. It's simple genius strategy. I love it, and that's why I just want to make sure we mention it, because I talked to Jules that day and heard her mention that. I'm like, oh, that is so smart. That is just,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just doesn't give you any sort of whatever temptation. Like even when I came back after that 3, it was good. I didn't really need to stop then because it was early enough in the race, right? And then after the 6, I did. I ate quick, but tried to do as fast as I could. And then I started my 5 miles back and forth. And then at least that was going along the river, nice and shaded, and back and forth too. So it was a great little route.
And so for those that may have been part of the first one and second one, not part of the third one, the rules kind of changed in between all the different races. In the fact that the 3rd race, you didn't have to check in between your laps. So you didn't have to come in and say, I'm in, I'm going out. The only, you still had to, before the end of the race, upload all your data, but you could have waited until just before the end and then dumped it all. So, like what you did, if somebody had found a 40-mile loop and just gone and done it, made sure they were back before the end of the race and uploaded all of their, just made sure they watched their watch, after that thing, stop it, start it back up, do the next leg, stop it, start it. And as long as you've done that, you're golden. So,
oh, well, I didn't even know that. I thought every 5 miles we had to. I knew we didn't have to check in on Zoom, but I still uploaded every 5 miles.
Yeah, well, as long as you had done it individually, like as long as I don't even know if they
but you could have waited?
required. Well, they were just saying you need to upload it. So, like, that's a bit of a gray area whether they would. I don't think they would have not taken it if you had sent it. Like, if you had sent in your 20 emails at the very end with all your pictures, because they're going to have them. Like, that's all they cared was that you got all of them individualized, not all just one long, like I did 20 miles. Here you go. No, it has to be 5-mile segments.
Yes.
So like what you did was pretty genius as well. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, no. And I mean, fortunate enough too, where I am, I had a nice area that I could do that in, right? And then pace it out that I could do almost 15 miles and be back home. So that was I was pretty lucky. And like I say, the river too. So I was able to jump in that a few times and cool down. But I was saying to Dave today, I really don't mind the heat that much. I'm surprised. It didn't, I got a headache. I got a bad headache in the afternoon, but other than that, I actually did a run today. It was my first run that I've done since last week. And I felt okay. And the heat's ridiculous today. So I think that's my new call line. We just got to find some heat runs.
Something that happened during the last UltraVirus race, not to keep bringing up UltraVirus race, but we're talking about it. Somebody hopped in the river a few times or a lake, but they got chafing bad because they're running with wet clothes.
Yeah.
So how you didn't run into that luckily, or?
Oh, do you want to know my mixture? It's lovely.
Now this is good stuff.
Bernie Goo, Preparation H, and Gold Bond all together. Wonderful.
Just turn it into a paste and slather it
everywhere. Everywhere. I had mild chafing, very mild, between the legs, but that was it. Otherwise,
you did a few miles, so I can expect that.
But no, overall, no problem at all. Yep. So
this is something I can see you telling your grandchildren.
Gold Bond.
Like when you're a grandmother down the road, you'd be like, "Oh, let Granny give you her secret anti-chafing recipe here."
Recipe, yeah. I'm like, I'm not gonna share my my muffin recipe with you, or my I'm gonna share my anti-chafing recipe with you.
Wonderful.
Take this to your grave. It's a family secret.
Oh, got a story for you. I'll tell you a story.
Please bring it on.
When was it? Earlier this week, I'm Dave, I think I shared this with you guys. I'm sitting out front, so it's a couple days after the race, and I was on a night shift, so the afternoon, I'm a little bit tired, but still. Neighbor's going by, and I'm out in the country, and he yells over him and his wife, "Congratulations." So I wave, and I say, "Oh, thanks." And they carry on, didn't say anything back, really, but didn't think nothing of it. I thought, but how the heck did they know? How, like, they would have seen me out maybe in the day, but how would they have known what I ran and that I actually did well in the race?
Yeah.
But whatever. About an hour later, my neighbor directly beside me, humongous sign. It's a girl.
So you took somebody else's thunder.
I absolutely did. I didn't even hear him respond. And if I just waved, because I wave at them all the time, but no, this girl has to go, "Thank you."
Like, wow, I'm so glad that you guys are supporting me out here. This is great.
I know.
So I'm humbled by this. Thank you.
I was really impressed. I thought, thanks, guys.
Okay, now, quick topic change, and I know you have it. Where's the hat?
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really a story behind it, though. It's just
how can this? This is the ugliest hat I've ever seen.
Well, it's a fox.
Not ugly.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
when did this start?
Well, I actually had a raccoon hat, a knitted raccoon one that was my daughter's that I stole from hers. And I used to wear it at every race because I hate being cold. And the knitted hats work great, especially when they're wet. So at the Worlds and stuff like that, you could still keep them on. They keep you warm. I lost it. I lost it jumping off the stacks, actually. I think it was the first year in Atlanta. I had it in my hand and I lost it. So devastated. I was devastated. If you see me at the end of that one, and that year was terrible because it was cold in Atlanta. And we stayed out the full 24 hours. Made 40 miles. Made 50 the year before, but could only do 40 just because of the cold. Anyhow, I'm a little bit sad at the end, not because I'm cold, but because I lost my raccoon hat. So my daughter bought me a fox one. It's been on my head ever since. I'm not losing this one.
Yeah, for those of you who do not have the joy of seeing us on video, look Juls up on Facebook and you will see this is a lovely fox hand knitted hat. It is gorgeous.
What? How can you not like that?
It is something purely for a Tinder profile pic. There's
Look
no
how
doubt
clean
about
it
it.
still is after everything that's been through.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, so Juls, toughest is going on. Now, you, obviously being registered, have they prepared you in any way? Has Tough Mudder sent you information on what you're going to be facing, what you're going to need to be doing?
And that's part of my problem too, is I am a very unorganized person, and I'm starting to think I shouldn't get it together, because the more unorganized I am, the the better I seem to do. However, I did notice that an email was sent out to start collecting items for your grocery list. So I guess part of their obstacles. This one I just got was red Solo cups, a watermelon.
Yeah. Oh, so they sent that out in an email because they put that up on the.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring this. I was gonna start going over the list for you if you didn't have. There's a new list,
Well,
and I guess
tell me
it's
if I
that
missed
one.
anything. All I know
okay.
is it's
Yeah,
very
they put-
sketchy. Rope, zip ties.
This goes back to that Tinder profile.
Watermelon, backpack.
No, they didn't say watermelon. They said melon.
Oh, okay. So it can be any melon?
Well, it did say a size, like as in over
3 to 9 pounds.
like
or
2 to 3, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, they posted this all earlier today in the Facebook group for the world's toughest 2020 world's whatever it is. There's a Facebook group for it. So they put it in there, and I haven't received the email because I'm registered, but I haven't received that email yet. So actually Charity forwarded me the information, and I actually forwarded the post once I found it over to Matt, because there's a spot in it that they kind of call Matt out in a way. Like they're like, we're going to be using a timing system very similar to the one that the UltraVirus race used. So if you did the obstacle course racing media UltraVirus race, you'll be familiar with it. So I just, I forwarded that off to him, and I'm like, hey man, they called you out on this. So you're evidently doing something right with your timing and whatnot. So yeah, but you've got the list pretty good. I could pull it up and look, but I'm not going to. But those are the ones that I remember as well. So it's slowly going to become more and more. So
yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know how they're going to do that. If it's going to be at the end of like a 5-mile loop, or if it's throughout.
As far as I know, like it's going to be basically the kind of the same thing, loops, and then when you come in, there's going to be a Zoom call. So I reached out to Kyle before I registered for it, saying, hey, I've been helping with this UltraVirus thing, and I've been doing these Zoom calls as well, and I want to be part of whatever the Tough Mudder's doing, and keep me part of it. And he sent me a message, and he's like, yeah, if you want to be part of it, we'll reach out to you a little bit closer to the date. And then once they started bringing out more information about it, and once I heard more and more races were being canceled, and I found out that if you do the toughest, you're going to get the 10-year anniversary headband, I registered.
Oh.
Like, I need the freaking headband. So,
absolutely.
If I had known that I could have gotten that headband by doing challenges and waiting a bit, I would have definitely done that, because I don't do 12 hours. But, now I was just telling Dave earlier, like, I was going to be doing it with Charity, my wife, and a friend of ours, Genevieve Cholet, who we've had on the show as well. She's going to come from the island, from Vancouver Island, over to do it with us. And now a friend of ours, Rick Crary, reached out to me and said, we've got a pretty big spot that we want to put a bunch of people together and do this all together at the same time with, social distancing. We could all go out on our runs. It'll be great. So yeah, we're going to move there now. So, I'm going to have a bunch of people. And see, my problem is I don't run. So I'm not like you or like Dave. I do not run. No, I've tried. I've done like the 5-mile loop on one of the UltraViruses, and no, I've done a half marathon, and that's the farthest I've run, and that's the longest I want to run. I go for the people. So when I was like, okay, I'll do this toughest, and now it's just going to be the 3 of us, I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, I'll just stay home in between a couple, let them do them, then go back out. But now I'm really talking myself into going out a lot more than what I was expecting to. And just, maybe skip 1 or 2 laps just to kind of hang out in the podcast or in the call, see how people are doing, wait until they come in, and then go back out with them again. So it's going to be great, and then you guys are going to be part of that. Dave, are you going to join us? Well, you're pitting. So are you going to try and do a couple, or? My
fiance and I, we're gonna pit for Juls and probably another friend of ours, Angelique, and really whoever else is at the Perry place that needs help. I expect I will probably end up doing more laps with people than I would if I signed up to actually run the race. So I could see myself going with different people just to help
unofficially
out
doing the race.
Yeah, just to help out, whoever needs it or whoever needs a buddy for that lap kind of thing. I thought maybe I wouldn't bring any running gear, so I wouldn't be tempted to do so. But at the same time, I'll end up doing a few, but I'm going to spend a lot of time, I think, on that Zoom call, chatting and delving into the community. That's really my thing. Looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a great time. It's super awesome of Joe to have so many people to his place and open up. You won't find a better member of the community than Joe Perry. That guy is just fantastic. And him and MJ, both of them are class act people.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So
it's about that time to take a quick sponsorship break. So we're just gonna throw that in here and then move on. So I love doing this. It's gonna be the quick pause for the people watching, and now even for the people watching, they actually get to see the video now too. So that we're working on some stuff that we're gonna shove in here. So eventually I'm gonna do like a little cover over the camera so I can find it. But for now, it's we're about halfway through. So we're just gonna take a quick pause, guys.
Do you like destination racing?
Are you looking for an endurance event where you can camp under the stars and be surrounded by nature and be with your friends?
Perhaps staying in an on-site cozy B&B is more your style.
Well, look no further.
Grip Farm Fitness has it all and more.
Located just 2 hours northeast of Vancouver in the beautiful Fraser Valley.
Participate in one of their events or just come out for hiking, horses, or much more.
Book any activity your heart desires at www.grit-farm.com.
That's www.grit-farm.com for our Canadian listeners, eh?
And we're back. see, I love it because now I can look for where we're all smiling, and it's like that's where I get to shove the camera in, right?
So we're not smiling the whole time?
Yeah, right. Yes, you have. So if you're new and you're just joining us now, where the heck have you been? And we've been talking to Juls, and we've got Dave in doing the probing as well. So I hear you have an affinity for burpees.
Oh.
Love to hate them, hate to love them.
I was never doing burpees correctly. I now know how to do them correctly, or whatever this challenge that Dave and Rye decided to give me.
High
so
Rocks
I was
virtual
jumping
challenge.
back and doing a push-up and jumping up, but I was never jumping from my hands and then jumping all the way back to my hands, and then putting your chest on the ground and jumping 50 feet up and clapping, whatever that nonsense was. Shall we mention this challenge also was before the UltraVirus race?
Yes.
There was a few that I had to do before, maybe one that had to be done a couple days afterwards that included 150 burpees.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a few.
No, I hate burpees. Doesn't matter when I do them, I hate them. They're horrendous. I don't know why we do them.
If it's any consolation, I did really well on those.
Yeah, whatever. So did Rye.
I'm not a big fan of the burpees either, and Battle Frog was really the one that pushed me over that even limit of like I don't like burpees with their I don't even remember what it is, like 9-step burpee or whatever it is, like the military in, out, back, up, down. I'm like, I had to watch the guy do it several times before I knew how to do it. So yeah, like what you were mentioning at the beginning, like doing burpees correctly, it can be done differently for each kind of race. So, you do need to know the style that the race wants. And for Spartan, it's pretty easy. It's just, chest to ground, feet off the ground when you jump. You can still be crouched, but your hands have to be just about, like we were counting and people were doing, you just got to get the palm past there and you're good. So you get these people that are like, they look like little rabbits when they're doing it, just going nuts. But
you should have had the fox hat on for that demonstration.
Yeah, that would have been good.
I don't have one. Sorry. Maybe if anyone wants to send me one, I'll start wearing it. I'm good with that.
So for this,
easy.
So for this competition Jules talking about, and this again talks to her character. We convinced Jules to sign up for the High Rocks virtual challenge, and it was grueling. I mean, the workouts were usually 20 minutes or shorter, but they were nasty. They were hard. They were high heart rate. Like you would do lunges, burpees, push-ups, nonstop, boom, just all bodyweight exercises as fast as you could for being either a set count of reps or a set time limit. And Jules was doing these like the day before the UltraVirus, the day after the UltraVirus. She ran like 50 miles and like a day or two later did this workout of 150 burpees plus all these push-ups and lunges and stuff. And so she was a trooper.
Active recovery.
Active recovery,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
I commented how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we got some nasty text messages and stuff. And you know, in fairness, it was our fault, but that's okay. You know, broad shoulders, so you can take the blame. That's all right. She did do very well. I thought she did amazing, even that fact that she could lift her legs after that. So I was impressed. So
did you even see the video? I didn't rewatch it, but it was ridiculous. I was so bad, so much pain.
But again, just like the run, she got through it. She wouldn't quit. So, and tell me this, like, and I know, Jules, that you're not an ultra competitive person.
No.
You know, and has it really clicked into you that you, like, you know, UltraVirus champion, like you know, has that hit you?
Not really.
Because it's
no.
That's pretty
no, because I keep
cool,
thinking,
man.
okay, come on, because yeah, unbelievable. I don't know. I still don't know how this has happened. Even the fact that even if I wasn't in any place, even the fact that I just got that 55 miles, I'm just blown away and beside myself. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. But no, the position doesn't matter. Like crazy.
So when 60 miles.
Yeah, no.
Actually,
only one more.
No, I know when 60 happens. 60 happens 2021 November, possibly Dallas, wherever.
Yeah, nobody knows where it's going to be. No one knows.
I could see a 60 there.
I might go for a 24 one because I did get 55 last Worlds.
I'm definitely seeing a 60 there.
Yeah, I can go for that. I can try it.
As long as it's not like some slog, cold, frozen fest, then...
Now, there was a testament to mental grit, because I don't mind the heat, but I do not like the cold.
Oh, I hate cold.
Oh, tough time. And actually, I ran into Pinky, I think, on my 4th lap there. And do you know, first time ever, I almost thought I was going to pull out of the race because I thought I had hypothermia. And we started chatting, and you know what? We just did the whole rest of the race together, and it was lovely. Did not stop. Poured, I think, hot noodles down our, neoprene socks, and just kept going. And
you put the noodles in too?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it stayed warm for a while. It's nice.
When you're running, you can just
put them everywhere.
So, I mean, this is something you get off a YouTube video for suggestions how to stay warm on a cold run. It sounds to me like you only watched half the video, because I think you're supposed to strain the noodles out and just pour the hot liquid down.
Yeah, well.
And even then, it should just really be water, because that other stuff might get a little sticky, but
yeah,
whatever, it's going to get rinsed out
what
eventually.
you're doing in the wetsuit. Nothing matters anymore.
So
yeah,
with your grocery list of items for toughest, and I'll ask you this for too, Ryan, I mean, because you're facing the same scenario. Thoughts, speculation, what do you think you got coming?
Well, I'm hoping they're going to use some of the stuff that they've been doing for the challenges. But, I think they're going to do as many of the little things that they've done in the past. Like you're going to have to make your own Arctic enema, of course. But, like some of the other ones that they've done, they've had like the Black Widow, where you've set up the ropes and stuff like that. So, but they did say, like, the thing is with the list that they've given us so far, rope was just part of the same, like, 3 different things. So they didn't say specifically you had to get rope. They just said duct tape, zap straps, or rope. So you can't make a Widow's, out of zap straps. So like it could be anything. Like I've done hurricane heats where they just throw stuff at you. Like, you bring these things and this is what's gonna, the less I think about it, the more I'm willing to do it. So I don't want to overthink it going, oh my God, they're going to make us do this. They're going to make us do that. And that's really part of the, hold on, I got to stop that call. That's really part of the allure for me, is like I don't really know what we're going to be doing during it, so it'll be fun. Like I don't know what they're going to make us do. Jules, do you have a light that you can throw on?
I'm just looking. It's getting dark out, and I also want to know, what are zap straps?
That's a solid question.
Zaps. Well, they're the little plastic. You not know what a zap strap is?
No, I've
I know
never
what
heard of
zip
a
tie
zip
is.
strap.
Guys that like loop back
Oh,
and then
zip
you
tie.
pull zip tie. Yeah, zap straps,
Yeah.
zip ties.
Is that okay? It's kind of.
Yeah, try to lower your camera a little bit.
Oh gosh. Now I'm not in it. Now you can't see me.
Yeah, now the
That
light
looks
is
comfortable.
It's just hey guys, it's me, Jules.
There.
You go.
I got another.
Better.
There.
Oh, see, now we can see your
How's that?
bibs in the background now too, right? So
Oh, yeah.
We went
See the
from
good bits
obstacles to
there?
bibs. Oh, there you go.
yeah, it's having that bright light
Yeah.
behind you that kills the camera.
Oh,
So you
well,
gotta get
the
lights
other
in
part of
front
the
of you.
garage, it's all messy.
You're good.
It's
All
fine. We're
So
not gonna
so-
bother you too much longer anyhow. So
Okay,
and
good.
this is much better. So while you're down there, let's get some burpees going. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, have you got anything you want to share? Anything else you want to share with us, Jules? Like you've got to have some other little stories.
Oh, I probably do, but I can't think of them on the spot.
Okay,
That's
well,
okay.
I'll ask you something, Jules. So,
Yep.
obviously, I believe so. World's toughest and toughest are both on your plan for next year, correct?
Yep.
Now, is there anything else on your schedule? Because not only Tough Mudder, I know that you do a lot of other stuff. I mean, for example, we ran a Northman race together. Was there anything else that like you had this year that was really an A race for you that got taken away?
Yes. The OCR Championship, Vermont.
And so what were you gonna hit there? Were you gonna do everything?
No, I was just going to do the 15. I'd like to be able to do the short course one of these days. Work kind of comes into play with that, but now that it's already taken care of for next year, transferred over, I probably will try and do the weekend.
There
I'd like
you
to
go.
do the whole thing. Yeah,
Well,
love to.
You've always got a carpool to ride down with us.
Yep.
So
I'm in. You offered.
yeah. Oh yeah. So I know you were there for 2019. How did you feel about it 2019? I mean, if you're going back, so like, how? Because again, you say you're not the speed runner. You're
Yeah.
the runner that just keeps going, right? So how does your, let's call it this, your skill set translate to something like Vermont, like the 15K? You know, how do you feel going into that stuff?
As far as nervousness or how I place, or
Yeah, like how do you plan to run it? Because I mean, it's totally different scenario. You're going from,
oh, absolutely.
you know,
And that is one of the toughest. Like I have yet not to lose my band there. Like that is my new challenge, is to get through. I mean, I've been thrilled when I finally made Stairway or whatever it's called now. What is that?
yes, Stairway to Heaven, which because you made it,
Yes.
they've changed it now and it's going to be different.
Yeah, and actually it was Northman that took me out. Was it last year? I think it was last year, because the last one I just kept slipping off every time. And it doesn't matter, my age group too, every time it rains.
Yeah.
Every single time. So I need to learn to get them in the
Oh,
rain.
man.
I love it. I love the OCR. I love the obstacles. It's a constant challenge just to even beat the one I didn't get the one before. Skitch. I beat that last year. It was the first obstacle. This year I thought, oh, here we go. First obstacle, I'm done. I got through it. I was ecstatic. But you know, didn't take long to.
What took you out this time? What took you out this time?
What did take me out? We got it right here. I made it in the garage. The rings.
Oh, Valkyrie.
Yes.
Mm.
Bugger.
But you, like you say, you've made it in the garage now. You're good for it. I know that I've seen you do it at my place as well. So that you're prepared for that. I saw Gibbons in the background. You're prepared for Gibbons.
Yes. Yeah, I just certainly did not get Gibbons either. And I don't understand the chicken wing. I would not even want to try it. That hurts me so bad. I can't do it. Like
Yeah.
that's an awful feeling in there. I don't know how people feel about that. I don't like it in general because it hurts. But
The chicken wing is sketchy to me. I don't like it either. I do know from having talked to the guys at Force Fives, from talking to Carl and Matt, that it will be allowed again. So it will be acceptable. I don't like it for fear of one thing. I can do it without pain. That's not a problem.
mm-hmm.
I don't like the thought of, if you start to roll off, that metal angle iron can just carve straight up your forearm.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like it as a safety hazard. Not so much from, like, people say you can tear your bicep just from hanging on your elbow that way. That's great. I'm looking at gouging that arm out. That's why I don't like it.
Right.
That said, they're still not asking me to make the rules. I don't know why. So
You know why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, man.
But it will be allowed. either way, you've got it now. So that one, I think you can do it this time.
If it's the first obstacle, absolutely I can.
So Jules, if you're not a running, but now you are a runner, do you prefer to just run, or do you prefer, like Dave, with obstacles in between? So you prefer
I still
obstacles.
don't like running.
So
obstacles, please.
But you do run though. That's the thing. Like, and you do
I
it
do.
well.
And you know what? Once I'm back, I feel great. I'm glad I did it. But while I'm out there, I'm just like, well, who likes this? Like, there's people who say they love running. I don't love running.
Okay, so you're not a runner. So we can go back to that. Like, are you a runner? No, you're not. But
once again, you know what? Most times, actually, I don't know if I did today. Most times I'm out there, I talk to people, and it's funny. Like, we video chatted while I was running most of that 12 hours with a lot of girls I know that do the Tough Mudder races and that too. And we just had a hoot, and that just once again comes back to the community, right?
Yeah, it's the community.
Why do I love running? Because I have people to make fun of me while I'm out there. It's great.
I think that Jules really, and I mean, I'm gonna toot your horn here for a bit. I think that
go ahead.
I'll take any ego boost I can get, right? I think Jules really, to me, is kind of inspirational in that she is someone who, she's not the person you see on the podium all the time. She's not this, chiseled, athlete. And it sounds like I'm knocking you down, not putting you up. What I'm saying is that she's
chiseled.
She's your everyday woman who has found her niche and has, through pure determination, turned herself into, a legitimate athlete and a winner. And that to me is amazing. And it's not like you were bred on the track and field team all the way from grade 4 and up you went to become this. You just decided you were going to run, you were going to do this, and you were just going to push yourself as hard as you could, and that's where you ended up. And it gives hope to old dudes like me who still want to get out there and compete. I think it's fantastic. I couldn't be happier for your success. I mean, when I saw your name on the top of the board, I was just like, oh, kick ass, Jules, way to go.
Right.
Well, it goes the tortoise and the hare, right? Just keep going.
It was this race was awesome to see so many Canadians on that freaking leaderboard, like just everywhere. So yeah, we're coming for you, US. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Keep in touch. Let us know how things are going. Get you back on the show, maybe. Who knows? You never, just get out there and kick some ass. Doing
Absolutely.
a great job of it. So,
well, thank you guys. This was fun. I was very nervous about it.
Oh, it's just us. Well, maybe you didn't even know Dave was going to be here, and Dave, I don't know if you saw the message she sent me, but Jules sent me a message just before you were on board, and she's like, "Gee, thanks for bringing Dave in on this."
Well, actually, I said thanks a lot.
She said it with that kind of sarcasm.
Gee, thanks.
It could be worse.
Awesome.
Jules, mad respect as always. I mean, congratulations, and I'll say it one more time. UltraVirus champion.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm still humbled and embarrassed a bit by it, but very excited at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to get you a shirt.
Please.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you for listening to the BeastNet Canadian Edition podcast.
Please click on subscribe, like us, and feel free to share the podcast with others.
Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify.
We'd also love to hear from you on who or what type of content you'd love to hear on the show on upcoming episodes.
The BeastNet Canadian Edition podcast is proudly brought to you by
Grit Farm Fitness.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or at beastnetpod.com.
That's beastnetpod.com.